She said the emoticons are cute. Alright, let's start. So guys, hello. We're back with the interview content. We've been pushing this out because the help of Lostark Plus, and then you guys been asking me to interview Min for a long time for a striker because she plays really well. She knows a lot about striker, and she's been getting MVP back and right when she played with us for the first time. So here she is. And now, as usual, when we do this interview, it's very simple. It's going to be based on, the basic play styles, the basic skills, the tripods, the fundamental stuff, right? The fundamental stuff that we usually do for this particular interview, and then ending up with the play style. The goal is to give you guys like more of like a vision or more of like a motivation to play the certain class that you guys are playing on, and at the same time knowing the fundamentals before you getting into the more of the details, right? We're still going to do through this, and it's going to be Deathblow Striker only. We're not going to cover the other topic because it's just going to make things confusing. So we're going to start with an intro and going with the skills, the builds, with the basic builds, and then we're going to talk about playstyle afterwards.
Hi guys, I'm Mintrorr, Twitch and YouTube streamer. 저는 351을 쓰는 일격필살 스트라이커를 하는 1년 반 동안 스트라이커만 하고 있는 유저입니다. Hello.
So she has been playing Deathblow Striker for a year and a half.
I have the Deathblow 뭐였죠? Deadeye.
Oh, Deadeye.
Gunslinger, and Blade and Reaper.
Right.
Yes.
So also on a side note, guys, we can as an NA community, you can kind of call her as the Queen of Entropy too. The Earth's Entropy. She plays most of the Entropy DPS classes, so back attack classes as well.
Yes, I like
back attack
class.
enjoyer.
Yes.
She does.
Yes, I love. 저는 일단 남자 무도가 격투가라는 거에서 굉장히 처음 이 캐릭터가 나왔을 때 매력적으로 느꼈고, 처음 나왔을 때부터 키웠어요. 스트라이커 출시했을 때부터. 그리고 얘를 플레이를 직접 하니까 얘를 내가 본캐로 해야겠다라는 마음을 먹고 지금까지 쭉 키우기 시작을 했죠.
So for this particular class, right, this is actually a pretty rare case where she chose to play striker at the very beginning. And what I said in the very beginning, the class wasn't as popular. I can actually confirm that with Min.
네, 똥캐였죠. 스트라이커가 똥캐였어요. 네, 맞아요.
Bad character. It was not a good character. But she played striker as she wanted to play a male martial artist, so she chose striker, and ever since that time, she kept playing it from that point on.
스트라이커를 추천하고 싶은 점은 제가 매력을 느꼈던 스킬은 당연컨대 이 내우격 때문에 제가 이 캐릭터의 매력을 느꼈거든요. 이 내우격이 다른 캐릭터와 다른 점은 이 3특포가 3개가 다 딜로만 이루어진 스킬을 짜고 있는 캐릭터가 이 스트라이커의 내우격밖에 없어요. 여기서 굉장히 매력을 느꼈던 것 같아요. 그래서 이제 여러분들이 한방 딜을 한번 맛보고 싶다. 그러면은 일격 스트라이커를 정말 추천합니다.
The question of recommending striker, right? Obviously, one of the best skills, as you guys have agree, is the lightning tiger kick. It's a really nice skill. And she was also talking about the tripods a little bit too. The tripod for lightning tiger kick is all damage based tripods, right? And that damage tripod, if you want to experience that big hit, like the big numbers, like some of you guys like the big numbers, doing the big number damages, playing striker might be one of the best class for you to just try and then experience on. The big thick numbers, correct?
이 추천은 굉장히 이 캐릭터가 느려요. 네. 이동기가 없다는 점에서는 굉장히 좀 힘들죠. 플레이하기가. 백을 잡아야 강하지만 백을 잡기 힘든 구조로 되어 있다.
So considering striker does big number damages, right? His disadvantage is being slow. So when I say if she not recommending a particular striker, the reason would be is this class is pretty slow. So if you guys are having trouble playing slow characters with slower maneuver skills, might not be a good recommendation. But considering he's slow, he does big damage. That's basically it. So we're going to go over each skills, the basic thoughts of each skills, and then the basic usage for it, and the tripods as well.
이 스킬은 카운터 스킬입니다. 그리고 바람의 축복이라는 이 특포작으로 공이속이 증가하기 때문에 네오격 사전 작업에 굉장히 많이 쓰는 스킬이에요.
Okay, so the first skill, Sky Shattering Blow, right? You guys notice we have the Swift Footwork, the Blessing of the Wind, and Abundant Resources. She's saying the Blessing of the Wind increases your attack speed as well. So what's important for, this is one of the most important striker strikes, also a counter. But before using your Lightning Kick, this skill is particularly used very often because it gives you the buff and also it gives you the resources as well.
그러니까 월썸각은 이거는 또 이제 버블을 채워주는 스킬 중에 하나인데 얘를 탁월한 기동성을 채용을 함으로써 이동기로도 같이 사용을 하고 있습니다. 백을 붙을 때 그냥 이런 식으로 이런 식으로 이제 저희가 이동기가 없기 때문에 이거 스킬로 좀 활용을 하는 거죠. 이런 스킬입니다.
So for Moonflash Kick, so we have the White Flame Kick for the meter gain, and then you have excellent mobility. So when she talk about excellent mobility, and the reason why it's important is because, you know, again, Striker doesn't have that much mobility skills, right? So she uses the Moonflash Kick sometimes for the gap close, right? And then with the full Moon Kick with the additional damage as well.
격호각은 이제 보통은 이제 뇌진탕으로 많이 씁니다. 버블을 짤짤이로 채워주는 스킬인데 굉장히 쿨이 짧기 때문에 짤짤이 버블로 많이 활용하는 스킬이에요.
So for Violet Tiger, she puts it into Concussion and Down Strike, and she also has Efficient Strike as well. So as you notice, if you level up your Efficient Strike, it decreases the cooldown by a lot, right? So considering the cooldown is only 6 seconds with the Wealth Rune, she utilizes the skill to fill up the necessary orbs needed to fill up as you're like walking on it. It's like more of a, like every chances that she gets to use the skill, she fills up the bubble, puts a bit of stagger, and doing damage at the same time.
그리고 자 이제 운용각. 이 운용각이 이제 스트라이커들은 이동기로 사용을 하지만 사실은 이건 이동기가 아니에요. 이게 이동기가 아니에요. 이게 보통은 모든 캐릭터의 이동기에 경직 면역이 붙어 있어야 되는데 아무것도 안 붙어 있죠. 예, 이거 쓰다가 보스가 살짝 스치면은 스킬이 끊겨버리거든요. 그래서 이거를 채용을 하는데 이제 스킬이 적으신 사람들은 보통 이렇게 10레벨까지 안 주고 4레벨까지만 줍니다. 이것만 채용을 많이 해요. 이게 어떤 거냐면 이렇게 나가는 스킬인데 보통은 이 1타로 이동을 많이 하죠. 이게 보면 우리가 이번에 스케일이 늘어났어요. 420포인트 최대로 얻을 수 있는 건데 보통 스트라이커는 4렙 특포에다가 이게 나머지 다 12레벨 찍혀 있을 거예요. 근데 제가 허수아비를 다 쳐본 결과 이건 11레벨. 이거 쳐본 결과 10레벨이나 이거 나머지 스킬들이 12레벨이나 DPS, 버블 수급량 차이가 변화가 없어요. 그래서 이제 나머지 스킬을 어떻게 활용할까 하다가 운용각을 10레벨을 주니까 어떤 식으로 바뀌냐면 저희는 3호이기 때문에 운용각까지 버블 수급으로 스킬을 사용하게 돼요. 근데 마지막 막타가 발차기가 앞으로 좀 전진하죠. 그래서 마지막에 막타 맞추기가 좀 좋아요. 운용각의 막타를. 그러니까 이동하고 이런 식으로. 네, 그렇게 활용을 하고 있습니다.
Okay, so that was a lot. Let me cover it real quick. So for Stone Dragon Awakening, right, it's particularly used for, let's say, the excellent mobility, and then she has enhanced strike in White Tiger. So usual, when you guys don't have enough skill points, you put it up to level 4, and then you tap it just once for movement skill. However, Storm Dragon Awakening isn't considered as like one of the best mobility skills, and people have been using it, but as she said, instead of using it as a mobility skill, what happens is you can use it as to gather bubbles as well, because she has 3 esoteric skills, right? Now, considering this, since Korea has more skill points at the moment, we have 420. She has tested beforewards. This used to be level 4, and then everything used to be level 12, right? And she tested it within the Scarecrows, And there weren't that much difference between a level 10 versus a level 12 in terms of like, you know, the bubble gains and the damage. There was not much of a big gain for it. So she's been trying it, and then she finds out level 10 with the Storm Dragon Awakening, it is easier to land the third hit because the third tripod helps a little bit on the range as well. And for the additional bubble gains as well for the higher damage potential within it, because it's a combo skill too. So with that being said, it is considered usable like that when you have a higher skill point numbers too.
다음 이제 번속은 스트라이커의 메인 시너지죠. 여기다가는 엘갈에다가 빠준을 줌으로써 치명타 적중률을 18%나 감소시키는 스킬입니다.
So Lightning Whisper, one of the Striker's most important synergy skill. So she has the Esoteric Extortion and Quick Prep and Fatal Lightning. And with that Fatal Lightning tripod, it gives 18% crit rate increase. That is huge, right? And then you also have the Quick Prep for the faster cooldown.
자, 이제 메인 스킬이죠. 스트라이커의 메인 스킬, 호황 출현. 이거는 빠준의 단타에다 승천을 찍었어요. 여기다가는 질풍을 박았습니다. 보통은 무력이 부족하면 압도룬이랑도 체인지 하기도 합니다.
So going to the Striker's main DPS skills, Esoteric Tiger emerges. Just quick prep, single hit, and ascension. So usually you put on the Galewind rune, the purple Galewind rune, but if there are some raids that require you additional stagger, she tends to put in Overwhelm rune on Tiger emerges.
폭세지는 이제 산모이 스트라이커만 가지고 있는 또 다른 메인 스킬이죠. 질풍 보라색 룬을 넣고요. 약점 폭착에 화염 폭발, 대폭발을 넣었습니다.
And for Esoteric Blast Formation, this particular skill is only used by strikers with 3 esoteric skills, right? Which is because we have weak point detection and flame explosion, and then great explosion on that particular skill. Only taken if you are going 3 esoteric skills.
자, 그리고 진짜 메인이죠. 자,
네.
내오격. 내오격은 단일 타격, 약점 부착에 모아치기입니다.
And same, the very last one, save the last one for the best one for the last. We have the Lightning Tiger Strike, which everyone likes. She has it as single hit, weak point detection, and charge kick. Yep, one of the best skills.
아, 네. 저는 이제 스트라이커의 가장 중요한 거는 풍운이 굉장히 중요하거든요. 궁천태, 월섬각, 그리고 격호각, 그리고 번속까지가 스트라이커의 메인 법을 채워주는 스킬이라고 생각을 해요. 그 4개의 풍요가 필요합니다. 그리고 참고해주고 싶은 말은 이 풍요룬이 있잖아요.
네.
제 거를 따라해도 안 되는 게
네.
스트라이커 특성합이 몇이냐에 따라서 그 풍요룬 배합이 다 달라져요. 네, 그거를 좀 우리 아가 스트라이커 분들한테는 알려줬으면 좋겠어요. 네.
So what she's worried about is, again, with the Wealth runes. So the problem with Wealth rune is just putting out the best Wealth rune on each skill. Like, for example, you can't copy Mint's build. The reason why is your rune decisions is based on how much spec you have in total. So she has 1787 spec. That's why the runes are allocated properly, as in, you know, even if she has the blue one for the Lightning Whisper, she still generates enough bubbles to balance out it. So this particular thought process is also explained on my beginner striker video, so it's there, like the thought process of it. So it's always spec versus the runes that you get. Okay, so that's very important for you guys too.
Very important.
Yep.
자, 이제 보석으로 이제 중요한 순위를 얘기를 해주자면 당연히 네오격, 그리고 호황 출현 10레벨 멸화, 폭세진을 만약에 간다, 내가 351을 간다 그러면 폭세진은 10레벨 홍염이 더 중요해요. 네, 멸화보다 홍염을 더 빨리 맞추는 걸 더 추천합니다.
네.
그거는 이따가 사이클 굴리는 거 할 때 보면 폭세진 보면 알 거예요. 왜 중요한지.
So covering the gems based on the importance. The highest damage gem is obviously the lightning kick and Tiger emerges. And also for 3 esoteric skills, you have the blast formation. But the blast formation's importance is the level 10 cooldown gem, actually. and she's going to explain this maybe a little bit later. But since we're talking about the most important gems, having level 10 on everything is not like the real answer, guys. So what she wanted to show you is this particular gem setup is based on her cooldown so that her cycle rotates properly, right? That's why in the beginning she was explaining, you have the damage skills based on the level 10s, right? And for just damage it's lightning kick and then tiger emerges and then blast formation. But for blast formation, level 10 cooldown is very important, what she wanted to explain, because that particular skill needs to have a faster cooldown to have a better rotation.
이게 352가 스킬 사이클이 한번 무너지면은 못 써요.
The 3 esoteric striker, if the cycle is broken a little bit, it'll be a lot more in shambles, the particular fighting, overall fight. That's why the cycle needs to be very clean, and I'm assuming it's because this class is based on combos. So when we're going over the playstyle, we will go over this gem section again when she's showing you guys some of the combination of skills and why the cooldowns are very important, and it's really important for you to mix and match skill cooldowns in order for the particular class to be very smooth. Okay.
네, 이거 하나씩 낮추면 돼요.
So this is an important thing that I asked, because not everyone has level 10 gems, guys, right? So what I've asked was, does it work if you have lower level gems? And the particular cooldown gem works like this. Let's say if your esoteric explosion blast formation is level 9, this would be 8, this would be 7, and this would be 6. 6, 6, 6, and then 7. Does that make sense? So everything will be lowered into one level for everything to be matched, if that makes sense. And as for damage gem, it's just damage gem. But cooldown gem, I wanted to cover it because not all of you have level 10 cooldown gems, right? So it's important for you to guys know. But you don't need to have higher level cooldown gem, because it would be a waste, or either the cycle is not going to be as clean as you think.
이 오이 스트라이커는 특화를 1520 이상만 맞추시면은 이제 뭐 치명을 더 주셔도 되고, 신속으로 가시는 분들도 있고, 자유롭게 치명 신속 비율을 자유롭게 하셔도 되고요. 그리고 352 가시는 분들은 특화를 1720은 맞추셔야 352 스킬을 굴릴 수 있습니다. 특화 1720 맞추고 이제 나머지는 치명으로.
So when we're talking about, let's talk about like the combat stats a little bit. So as combat stats, if you are playing 2 esoteric striker, the minimum amount of spec that you acquire is 1520. So if you have 1520, at least 1520, rest of the combat stat can be allocated somewhere else. So you can actually have more crit, or some people actually put a little bit more on swiftness, right? If they want to, that is. But again, we have bracelets, so since you guys don't have bracelets, that might be a little bit hard. So most of them will be necklace on crit spec, and then everything will be spec just to get that 1520 minimum spec that you acquire to do 2 esoteric skill striker. However, for 3 esoteric skill striker, I think it might be a little bit impossible for the NA at the moment, because you need at least 1720. For 1720, you probably acquire a very, very high quality accessory at the moment, because you guys don't have bracelets, correct? So 팔찌 없이 1720이 돼요? 혹시?
아니요, 힘들어요. 그래서
많이 힘들죠?
네,
거의 막 100콜 해야 될
네,
거. 아니,
네,
100콜
네,
해도 안 될 것 같은데?
네,
100까지 해도.
후반에 하는 걸 추천해요, 352는.
That's why again I was just asking her if it's possible to do without bracelets, and it's actually really hard to get 1720 spec without bracelets. So it'd be smarter to do 3 esoteric strike Deathblow maybe after when bracelets come out. 9/7 stone.
Yes. I'm winner.
Yeah, she's a winner. So she's going to talk about all the engravings that striker can potentially use.
만약에 이제 3, 4개로 가는 스트라이커다.
Going for
그러면-
4 threes.
이거.
Yep, you have the class engraving, Deathblow, and then you have Grudge, and Master of Ambush, and Adrenaline. Nice.
4개. 4개를 이렇게 가는 걸 추천하고요.
She recommends
여기서?
those 4.
그리고 여기서 이제 예준 어디? 여기 5개는 이걸 추천합니다.
And if you want to add one more, it would be Keen Blunt.
그리고 아드 혹은 저밭을 가는데
Adrenaline or Crystal. Those are the options too.
근데 저는 저밭보다는 아드를 더 추천해요.
But she recommends Adrenaline instead of Crystal.
252 스트라이커한테는 슈퍼차지도 굉장히 괜찮습니다.
For two esoteric striker, supercharge is not bad because this does impact your lightning tiger strike.
정업을 많이 물어보더라고요. 근데 정업은 얘는 딜 각인이라기보다 딜 각이에요. 이거를 초반에 챙겨도 되는 이유가 이걸 채용함으로써 백 겉에 그 적중률이 내가 늘어난다. 그러면 이걸 채용하는 게 훨씬 좋죠. 근데 저는 정업보다는 슈차가 더 쾌적할 거예요.
Right. So when she talked about spirit absorptions, right? So spirit absorption, as I talk about on my streams as well, spirit absorption is a utility engraving. It gives you attack speed and movement speed, and you technically use that to have better positional advantage. As in, if spirit absorption is going to help you land more back attacks, there's no reason for you to not take it because it's going to improve your performance as a player, right? But however, spirit absorption, but there's also, if you want to take it to a utility, something like supercharge is also the same thing because it impacts the lightning kick's speed as well, right? And it also increases lightning kick's damage by a lot, right? And since lightning kick does the most of your DPS pie, something like that is an option as well.
북미는
네.
서포도 지금 갈망이 안 나와서 스트라이커들이 답답해서 정읍 가고 싶어 하는 것 같아요. 근데 서포터가 이제 갈망이 이제 곧 나오기 때문에 좀만 참고 다른 거를 가는 거를 추천해요. 예, 그 말 꼭 해주고 싶어요. 정읍 갈망이 나오니까.
So what she wants to tell you guys, to tell some of the newer striker players is she understands why you guys might want spirit absorption. Well, I have spirit absorption because I just did it for like a side alt character, but the reason why you guys want spirit absorption because you guys are so slow, right? Striker's very slow without any of the speed boosts. Like if you go full spec and then full crit, by next week, guys, you may have supports with 4 yearning set, right? So with that 4 yearning set, you'll be moving much faster. So what she's saying is, if you just hold off a little more, get used to the other engravings first instead of just going spirit absorption. And by the time when more people are getting the yearning set as a support doing the actual raid, you'll be much better off. So she just wanted to say that, like, gotta hold off a little bit, just hang on a little bit on that slowness because it's going to change very soon. Right? She's gonna talk about cards just real quick because we're going over some of the things that we haven't went over because like the build itself is like super simple with like the combat stats, etc. So this section we went zooming through this section, huh?
이제 스트라이커 전용 카드라는 얘기가 나오죠. 이게 보면은 이제 가디언 브러시 말고 이제 백어택 주는 피해, 그리고 속성 피해, 그리고 속성 피해가 24% 증가. 이것 때문에 이제 스트라이커의 카드다라고 나눈 이유가 있어요. 그 이유가 스트라이커의 메인 주력기들이 다 속성 피해입니다. 보시면 네오격의 뇌속성, 호황 출현은 화속성, 그리고 폭세지는 아무 속성도 아니. 이렇게 메인 두 스킬이 속성 피해이기 때문에 이 두 스킬로 이제 굴릴 수 있는 거죠. 이 모든 카드를 적용을 받을 수 있습니다.
Right. So this particular unique card set, you guys been talking about because Zeos talks about it too. So the 3 ball guys, right? The 3 ball guys, what it does is, the first set doesn't really matter. It's just a guardian thing. Second thing, it gives you 2% back attack damage increase, and the full set gives you 10% back attack damage increase, which is 12%. And then you have the faded Lazenith set, which it gives you 2% extra damage on elemental at 4 awakening, and if you have the full awakening, sometimes for 8 seconds all elemental damage will be 24%. So technically, it's 2% to random of 24% for 8 seconds, which it has an internal cooldown of 32 seconds, right? So since for strikers, their Tiger Emerges and Lightning Tiger Strike is an elemental damage, which is Tiger Emerges is fire and Lightning Kick is lightning, the card can have a full effect within this particular class. It's like the only class. Plus, I think Word Dancer can use it as well. But Striker this is one of the most unique Striker card set that you can use for a higher ceiling than a Light of Salvation 30. Striker's build is actually more simple than like the concept, the theory crafting of Striker is actually not that very hard. But the skill cycle itself is the hardest part because like again your bubble needs to fill up, and yes, the bubble needs to fill up properly, and the cooldown needs to mix and match properly like a Lego blocks, right? So we're going to go over that right now.
일단 352 스트라이커는 252와 다른 점이 하나가 있죠. 바로 폭세진이라는 게.
The biggest difference between the 2 esoteric and 3 is the striker has the blast formation skill.
네. 이 스킬을 우리는 그 활용을 잘해야 되는 게 352 스트라이커예요. 그리고 폭세진하고 호황 출현 데미지를 비교를 하자면 폭세진이 사실은 더 셉니다. 호황보다.
Oh, so to compare with the blast formation and Tiger Emerges, the blast formation itself does do a little bit more damage versus the Tiger Emerges.
그래서 보통은 내가 이제 호황 출현은 사버블로 꼭 채워서 쓰면서 폭세진은 그렇게 별로 중요하게 생각 안 하는 352 스트라이커 분들이 많아요.
So if you do the 3 esoteric striker, what usually happens is you fill up the 4 bubble because Deathblow uses all your bubbles, right? The 4 bubble Tiger Emerges, they try to get the 4 bubble Tiger Emerges, but most of the time they usually use 3.5 for like blast formation. But in truth, like if they also use the 4 bubble for blast formation, it actually does more damage compared to the Tiger Image. So the skill itself is actually really important as well, and then she's going to show it to you.
보면은 호황 출현
네.
5,600만.
We decrease it a little bit here so you guys can see the numbers. So she's showing it as 56 million for Tiger Emerges. 네.
See?
74 million.
Wow.
That's 20 million difference.
네, 이게 그래서 얘보다 폭세진을 다 맞추면 센데 빗나가도 호황이랑 비빈다는 거예요, 얘가.
So as he was talking about the blast formation, like, sometimes it's really important for you to utilize a blast formation properly. For example, let's say you play Broshaza, you guys didn't see the raid when she does that Darius pattern, right? The big red circle. She does is she uses the blast formation behind Broshaza because the back is facing over. And the last ticks actually hit because the skill animation, the pattern animation itself is very long. So in this point, she has explained this because if you utilize the blast formation properly, and then it's actually easier to hit the back, do the back attacks as well, because the last ticks they tend to hit. Like the judgment itself is actually better than you think. So if you actually utilize it better, you can actually push a lot more DPS. That's why she says that you need at least 1720 spec to properly use the blast formation for the full bubbles instead of 3.5. Yeah, so she's going to give you the skill cycle to have the 3 esoteric skills covered up with the full bubbles.
자, 이제 첫 번째 이제 네오격 쓰는 스킬 방법.
Right. For the lightning kick.
자, 붕천태, 번속, 네오격 이렇게 쓸 거예요.
So the combination is going to be Sky Shattering Blow plus Lightning Whisper to Lightning Kick.
하는 이유가 붕천태하고 번속을 붙인 이유가 붕천태에 바속을 붙여놓으면 네오격의 차진 속도가 빨라집니다.
Right, and the reason why she's doing this is because, again, we talked about Sky Shattering Blow. It had the Blessing of the Wind because it increases your attack speed, right? It increases your attack speed, and then you add the Lightning Whisper for the crit synergy for the additional crit, and then uses the Lightning Kick to make it faster and easier to land with higher crit too. There you go. That's the first combination.
And second one is 격호각.
Yeah, and the second one?
격호각, 문월, 그리고 호황출현.
And the second one's going to be Violet Tiger, and then Moon Flash Kick to Tiger Emerges. Right.
그리고 이제 폭세진. 자, 운용각, 궁천태, 격호각. 하고
and
폭세진.
and the third one is going to be Storm Dragon Awakening and Sky Shattering Blow again. And then the Violet Tiger, because their cooldowns are short, right? And then use the Esoteric Skill Blast Formation at full bubbles.
네, 평타 한 대를 쳐야 돼요. 보면은 이만큼 비죠. 그래서
wow.
1800 되면 1820이 되면 되거든요.
So you need 1820 to make it fill up.
할 필요 없어요. 왜냐면 어차피 폭세진 쿨이 1, 2초가 비기 때문에 그때 어차피 평타 섞게 되어 있어요.
So since the blast formation is gonna have 1 to 2 seconds off cooldown anyways, so you'll be auto attacking. So you gotta mix in just a little bit of auto attack for that, just a little bit more, the bubble to fill up to full.
자, 이거를 이제 빠르게 한 3사이클을 돌려볼게요. 그러면 이제 폭세진 쿨이 점점 밀리기 시작할 거예요.
So she's going to show you the cycle 3 times to show you the difference between the cooldowns. And you'll see how the blast formation is going to be shifted a little more. Okay, the first combination, second combination, third combination, blast formation. There you go. That's the full combo. Nice. And she's going to do the third, the second combination of all skills. Right, the second one. And then blast formation again, and then the lightning kick comes back.
지금 궁천태 번속 네오격의 쿨타임이 예쁘게 돌아오는 거 보이세요?
네. But you guys notice, check this out. So she wants you guys to see how all the cooldowns of the skill are getting in line based on the esoteric skill that you're supposed to use.
힘이 예쁘게 떨어지죠.
네.
궁번뇌가 쿨이 다 똑같이 돌아와요.
Now, by the time you're done with the esoteric blast formation, your Tiger Strike comes back with your combination of skills that you need. It looks very smooth. Yeah.
이게 바로 보석을 이렇게 간 이유예요.
Right, and this is the reason why you make the gems exactly like this.
네네네. 마지막 그거 이거는 단계만 맞춰주면 돼요, 레벨을.
So as you notice here, we talked about this in the beginning while we talked about while we were talking about gems. Again, this particular level 10 gem is the blast formation, right? And then 9s, 8s, 7s, the 8s and the 7s. These are all they're matched up. For example, so that one is Tiger Emerges, level 9's Tiger Emerges, and the level 8s were the Violet Tiger and the Lightning Tiger Strike, and the level 7s were the rest of the skills. So it's about that rotation, because you get a higher level gem and then you get a low level gem on purpose to mix and match everything, so everything comes back on time and it's all calculated so that your next combination of skills can be mix and match properly at a specific time, right? So again, for the gems, particular gems, like let's say, if you don't have a higher level gem, what's it going to be is, let's say your highest cooldown gem is level 7, right? Then it will be level 7 on Blast Formation, and then it'll be level 6 on the other skills, right? Level 6 on Tiger Emerges, level 5 on Lightning Kick and etc. And then you put it level 4 on the other ones. Does that make sense, guys? So because to purposely fit the cooldown so that your waiting time is going to be waiting for your full cycles, like waiting for your combination of skills, not the skill itself. Because as a striker, you're supposed to fill up the bubble and then use the esoteric skills for damage, right? So your cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, and then you wait 2-3 more seconds. And just because even if you put all level 10, you're just gonna get janked up, as in it's gonna be like scribbled up together.
2호이면은 여기서 이제 폭세진 보석이 빠지죠. 폭세진 보석이 빠지고 방청격 2개가 들어가겠죠.
So we're gonna talk about two esoteric skills because like you can't really do 3 in NA. So more of a realistic cycle.
자, 사이클이 조금은 바뀌어요. 자, 붕, 천태, 번속에 방청격 쓰고 내오격. 네, 왜냐면 이제 2호이시면 아마 특성이 1500이실 거예요. 흑화가. 버블을 채우려면 자,
There you go. So you see how you added another skill, which is the sweeping kick, to fill that half bubble required to get the lightning kick in. For the 2 esoteric skill, you would just replace blast formation into sweeping kick, right? So the one I asked about for is like, you know, which gems would you put up for a sweeping kick, right? For particular sweeping kick, since you're using it before lightning strike, which it is used after the huge cycle that you're supposed to do, the high cooldown gems doesn't really impact it. So even if you put it as level 5, you're totally fine for the cooldown. So for you guys, if you want to do the specific cycle, again, the gem difference is going to be about 1 level each, and it will just be replaced. The blast formation is just replaced into sweeping kick, so that you can actually properly rotate 2 esoteric cycles properly. Yep.
이게 아마 제가 지금 특보가 안 되어 있어서 그런 건데 이제 정비 특보를 이제 넣어 놓으면 공격 이게 더 빨리 나갈 거예요, 발차기가. 그래서 이게 왜 여기 사이에 넣냐면 번속 안에 이 3개를 다 박는다는 거거든요.
아, 그렇죠. 네.
번속 안에 이 3가지 스킬을 다 넣겠다. 조금 부족하죠. 네, 그리고 뭐 잠룡을 채용을 한다고 하면은 아마 사이클이 조금은 달라질 거예요.
Right. So if you happen to use the other skill, which is a Sleeping Ascent Celebration for mobility, as you notice, she used Storm Dragon Awakening instead to fill that half bubble, right? To use the Lightning Kick, and then use the Violent Tiger and Moon Flash Kick to Tiger Emerges, right? So think of it as 2 preparation skill, esoteric skill, 2 preparation skill, esoteric skill. If this cycles properly, that's how it will work. That's how you're supposed to play. So you notice how 2 preparation skills, and then she uses the Tiger Emerges, right? Now two skills again, the preparation skills again, and then do the Tiger Kick. But again, to go over, you gotta have the runes and the proper specs to have that 2 preparation skills filling up the 4 bubbles. That's very important. Yep.
그리고 여기 변형 문제가 하나가 있는데 만약에 이게 사이클이 예쁘게 굴러가면 좋겠지만 보스가 이제 순간이동하고 만약 이제 격호각 같은 경우에는 발이 굉장히 짧기 때문에 맞추기 힘들거든요. 이 스킬이 이제 만약에 삑이 났을 때 이게 이랬을 때 월성각 궁천태 폭세진을 날리고 격호각 돌아온 거를 격호 궁천태 아니 번석한테 내오격
So you see how she's rotating skills a little bit differently? The reason why she's doing it this way is because she's explaining how what if Violent Tiger misses, right? What if a certain skill misses, right? You gotta find the 2 preparation skills that works and then cycles it properly. And that since her gem is set up properly like that, okay, since this skill's missed, I can use this skill and then use it after I use an esoteric skill. I hope that makes sense, guys. Cause like these kind of things can only be obtained after you hit a bunch of scarecrows. That's what I wanted to say.
자, 이거를 세트를 하나 알려드릴게요. 자, 원래
Oh, she wants
이제
to tell another set.
원래 이렇게 세트였죠. 붕천대 번속 세트, 뭐 격호가 월성각 세트 이런 식으로 했잖아요.
네.
자, 월성각하고 붕천태하면 예쁘게 사법을 차고요. 그리고 격호각에 번속하면 예쁘게 사법을 차요.
So, for example, if you use the Moon Flash Kick and Sky Shattering Blow, that's also 4 bubbles, right? And Violent Tiger and Lightning Whisper is also 4 bubbles. So this is possible because she has a very high spec, which is 1720. This is how the big the highest ceiling works. As in, it's so easy to prepare, do the preparation skills for 4 bubbles, and then utilize esoteric skills accordingly. Based on when you're doing a live fight, you can always miss, right? If you miss, you can have plan B, like a plan C or something like that.
이거를 본인들이 이제 알고 있어야 돼. 내가 이 스킬이 내 캐릭터가 몇 버블을 차는지.
For example, it's important for you guys to know is how many skills do I need to utilize to fill up all my bubbles, right? And it's different per character because you guys have different setups. Everyone has different setups. Everyone has different specs. Everyone has different wealth runes. Therefore, it is important for you to practice and figure out which combination of skills gets the 4 bubbles, which combination of skills do not, and then you have to adjust that accordingly to your playstyle, and then work on it in the future when you're adding in different skills too. Wow, 이거는 나도 못 봤는데. So she wants to show us super cool stuff. Light of Salvation 30 versus the 3 bald guys. I've never seen it either. 나도 사실 본 적 없어요.
그러면 어떤 거를 볼까? 네오격으로 그냥 딱 보여주는 게 낫겠죠?
네, she's gonna show you the lightning tiger strike difference. 96.
이 정도 나오고요. 세급이 30가.
That's Light of Salvation.
떴죠?
Oh, that's what it is right here. Holy shit! What? That's like 30 million more. Damn.
Yes, Striker Class.
25 million more easily. So she gets the buff activated over here, like a light. Oh, right here. She has it. Wow. 그러면 이거 버프 적용된 동안 계속 하는 거네요?
그러니까는 이 카드를 활용을 하려면 어떻게 하냐면 보스하고 조우하고 운용각을 먼저 때려요. 때려보고 이제 이 버프가 몇 초인지 한번 보세요. 몇 초 남았고 무슨 스킬을 썼는지 한 번만 보세요.
Oh.
호황 출연까지 둘 다 박았죠. 세율하지
So
않아.
she can fit in 2 esoteric skills within the card set buff because the card set buff lasts 8 seconds. Okay, so she's gonna show you how it works in a cycle.
세구빛이 바로 터져줘야 되는데 근데.
터졌다. So she gets that buff, right? She squeezes in 2 esoteric skills.
운용각이 없어서. 아씨.
아 근데 15%보다 12%니까
네.
버프 없는 상태에서도 딱히 차이 안 나네요.
네.
Right. Damn. Oh, no wonder that's strong, because even without the buff, it's 98, 98.
그러니까 이러면은 망한 건데 제가 운용각에서 터져버려가지고 새우라지가 안 터지는 거 보세요.
It's not popping, the buff. Oh, there you
이제
go.
터졌다.
It happened.
아 노크리.
No crit.
이제 한 사이클 돌렸죠?
That's one
두
cycle.
사이클.
That's the second cycle. That's the second cycle. And the third cycle, she has the
내용력에 딱
buff again.
돌아오죠.
Oh, she gets the buff back at the third cycle.
두 사이클당 한 번씩 푼다고 생각하면 돼요.
Well, the card set itself is RNG, but when it pops, it just does that much more damage. But even without it, it's 12% instead of 15%, which Light of Salvation gives.
이번에 늦게 터졌어.
Dude, the scarecrow's about to die. So guys, but we have one more. We have our traditional solo. Hanumatan
근데
solo.
하나 얘기해주고 싶은 게
네.
사무이 일격 스커는 솔로에는 굉장히 적합하지 않은 캐릭터긴 해요. 그러니까 1인
그쵸.
플러스 뭐 1인 그 할 때 굉장히 힘든 캐릭터라는 것.
So she wanted to tell you something that the 3 esoteric skill build is not built for soloing. Cause some classes can't do really well solo. If that makes sense. So she wanted to let you guys know early that it's hard to it's harder to solo sometimes because her build is built for party. She's here. She gotta take the drugs. 에스더 무기가 뭐였는데?
어딨냐 페로몬.
실력에 비해 인벤토리 정리는 같은 상자가 다른 탭에 2개 더 있는데요? 4개 더 있는데? I was making fun of her inventory organization.
오케이.
팝폭은 안 가져가도 돼요?
화폭을 못 들고 가요.
아 그러네.
솔로는 못 들고 가요.
아 그러네. She can't throw it. Ah, so this is the reason why you can't really solo, because you need to attack from the back. It's harder than the Hitmaster class. It's also, the striker is very slow without the support. Guys, you guys better be excited next week because all the supports are going to get the Forcessor Yearning, you know? Forcessor Yearning, boys. So this particular playstyle that we're seeing right now, it's very different, guys.
큰일 났다.
왜요?
파괴 스킬이 없다.
아, 할 수 없다고? Uh-oh.
네.
No explosion skills.
내오격하고 건속이 파괴 스킬이라서.
So her lightning whisper and lightning kick is the destruction skill.
내오격하고 그거를 좀 생각하면서 써야 돼.
But you know how she kind of wanted to
이거
have
리아죠?
maybe the support. Dio?
파괴 안 되면은 힘들어서.
아니면 서포트하고 서포트대로 할까? 서포트?
아니요.
왜냐면
한번더
솔로에
생각하고
적합하지
해야
않은 건 맞아서. 에?
아니 할 수 있어요. 이렇게 건속하고 내오격 있으면 할 수 있는데 더 하죠.
Okay. She wants to restart because she wants to break the armor, right? In order for her to break the armor, She needs to save the Lightning Whisper and the Lightning Kick.
음.
But something we can learn here is Striker's out of very interesting, pretty hard solo class. If you ask me.
어허. 무지 어려워. 이거 들 수 있나? 솔로는 진짜 어렵긴 해.
Also slow. Look how slow the character is. 느리긴 해.
어.
You know, she did say at the very beginning. You guys remember why would you not recommend Striker? And then you would say something like, it's too slow, right? You guys gotta get that learning. 뭐 한숨이요? 힘드세요?
아,
에?
아니야.
에.
아,
느려서?
느려서.
That sighs because of she's so low. 버프 나왔다. Oh, no crit. This does make my heart burn of the slowness. Imagine how stressed out. But that damage though.
곧 타고 나올 것 같은데?
그러게요. So he's going to get. Oh, there you go.
아, 카운트 없다.
Oh no counter.
내우격을 못 써.
요번에 한 번 나오자. 아 그때 딱 그 패턴 나올 때 되네요.
네.
So she's waiting for the opportunity to break the armor, so she can't really use lightning kick. It's painful, but it's skilled play.
와. 와, 씨.
The traditional solo Hanumatan, boys. Break! Wow! Sick! The Lightning Whisper, Lightning Kick breaks his armor. So she was waiting for that opportunity, that's why it's tough. Oh shit. Big deeps. The dodges. Nice. Wow. These are some planned attacks, man, considering how slow the class is. Kicked off his helmet. The best gamer. We can all agree that this is... Wow, 151. Jeesh.
아이고야.
Oh no.
사격.
The counter. Oh, nice. Break the armor. Boom. Nice. She got it. Boom. Her rotation is very smooth, right, guys? So as she explained before, it's about the gems, it's about the spec, it's about the proper training of the rotation. She just knows in which situation, what skill she needs to use to properly rotate her skills every time. Wow, finished.
Finish.
Sheesh. I don't think I can ever do that for sure. Wow, easy clap.
Easy clap.
That was fast. That was fast indeed. 근데 먹었네요. 안 하셨구나. She didn't do it.
네, 컴퓨터 이제 켜가지고.
아유, 바로 켜가지고 또
네.
이거부터 하고. 바쁘시네. 어제도 인터뷰도 하시고.
네.
She did double interviews, guys. She's busy. Everyone wants to know. 다들 너무 좋아하니까 동료 친구들.
네.
너무 잘하니까.
스트라이커 많이 사랑했으면 좋겠네.
Guys, what do you guys think? That was good, right? Say bye to Mint, guys.
Bye bye.
She did a lot of work for us.
Bye bye.
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 So that was Mint, guys. So she left because she was, it's pretty late. You can follow her stream, at Mintrorr, but make sure to follow her. Give her some primes. Give her some love. I want all of the striker players to get some references of her plays as well. Okay, that's what I want because she is someone that you should learn from if you're a striker player that is willing to, willing to get good at. Okay. So that being said, we're done. We're done.